guys, we're in the shop this week. We have this fine piece of machinery here, New Holland LS 150. This is a local farmer's. I worked for him in high school, milking cows and doing farm chores. He was running it, and then it still runs, but the hydraulics completely quit. I have it tore down a ways here. You can see. So essentially what happened here is some bolts broke, came loose, and the rear pump in this assembly that goes into the flywheel was loose. Messed the splines up in the flywheel, and the pump ended up, the only bolt that was tight on the pump anymore was the bottom ear bolt. And I have the piece here somewhere, right here. That was the only tight bolt on the pump, and it broke off, obviously, once it got loose enough. And so it ruined the flywheel, and it ruined that back pump in the pump assembly. So I'm going to take the pump out, the whole assembly, and then he's going to get a new reman, whatever, rear pump to put in here, and then a new flywheel. But it's been kind of a pain. There's one giant bolt underneath this thing that holds the, I don't know, it's kind of like the whole mount. We'll call it a mount. There's a mount, there's a bolt in there, and it's probably like 3/4 inch bolt that goes down into the belly pan. You can't see from here, but the belly pan is full of cow manure because dairy farmer, and that's given me some problems. So I'm probably gonna end up, there's 4 small bolts that hold it to that mount. So I might end up having to take those little small bolts out. They're underneath the pump, you know, the typical hard to get to stuff. But either way, get that out. He can get the pump figured out, all that good stuff. And then get the flywheel, and I'll put it back together. So got that going. It's going all right. We also have the power unit, the hydraulic power unit that we're building. I don't know if I've showed this yet or not. So the gravel pit that we work out of is owned by a very good family friend. Would pretty much consider, well, I would consider him family. And he got this on an auction. This was a steal of a deal for him because he paid like $350 or $450 for this thing. Brought it home, put filters in it, and it runs. It's got this Big Mac motor. It's got twin stick tranny behind it, and this was originally built to run a jaw crusher, or a cone crusher, a jaw crusher. Don't quite remember, but so it just had a drive shaft from the transmission to the crusher, and now we're turning it into a hydraulic power unit. So we got this, you know, he's scavenged all these parts, and we're putting it together. There's the hydraulic pump, and see these hanging up here. That's where we'll set the hydraulic tank. We got manifolds, pressure relief manifolds and stuff right here. So getting this put together so I can run a screener and, you know, whatever else down the road we end up getting. We'd like to get a crusher, but I don't know, you know, the price got to be right, and they're far and few between. So we've been working on that, and it's coming along. Once we get the hydraulic tank on there, I think he can probably take it home and do the rest, because it'll just be, you know, hose fitment, like that kind of stuff. And I'm not a hydraulic guy. I don't have schematics or whatever for this relief deal, so I'm not the guy to be doing that. Could I figure it out? Probably, but he's got someone where he got some of this hydraulic stuff from. They're going to help him figure that out. And then hopefully we'll be able to run this thing, screening material, you know, conveyors, whatever. He's going to completely, well, right now when we, I got crud in my nose, but right now when we go to run the screener in his pit, we use skid steers, whether it be mine or he hires another guy that comes in and runs it for him hourly, whatever. So, but this will be nice. That'll give him some freedom from having to have somebody, you know, third party come in and run the unit. But this was a steal, you know, like that $350 or $400 for just this power unit. It's outrageous. I don't know, you know, it was a good deal. It had a full tank of fuel, so he said he figured that just the fuel that was in it was probably more than what he paid for the machine, so pretty neat. So sometimes we do some different neat stuff, right? Got that, preparing that skid steer. This week I'll be looking at starting to look at some work, and honestly we're not even advertising right now, so that's pretty cool that we have, you know, return customers and word of mouth, you know, that's working, so that's always awesome, right? So I got some work to look at this week, and you know, just puts around the shop. It's supposed to start getting cold next week again, which that's fine, it's winter, so kind of had me fooled, you know, 50 degrees in January in Minnesota is pretty crazy, but we'll get back. I think we're going to get pounded with snow, you know, end of this month, March, but we'll see what happens. But either way, Alexis wanted me to kind of do some videoing out here, so that's what we're doing. Yeah. Fun on a bun, as some metal robot dude would say in the future. Okay, so I'm in the shop. Got this bad boy here. I think I videoed some of that. Well, got the pump out, and the owner of the machine took the pump, and they're trying to have that one that's messed up, having it rebuilt. And so there's that. He's waiting to see if he can get it rebuilt, whatever, before he brings a new flywheel, because the flywheel in that first pump in the line was messed up due to loose bolts, broke bolts, whatever. Something happened at some point and it got messed up. But either way, last night I did sell my ESAB 275 MIG Master. Kind of a crazy deal. Dude drove up from Omaha, Nebraska. We're in Taylor's Falls, Minnesota. It was like a, you know, probably like a 7-hour, 8-hour trip for him. Don't know how the roads were, but yeah, he showed up. He came all the way from Omaha, Nebraska. I said, don't they have welders down where you're from? And he said, everybody wants gold for them. So the welder was probably priced a little bit too nice if somebody was willing to drive 16 hours, you know, 14, 16 hours, whatever the hell it ended up being for him. But either way, he got a good welder. Older fella. He was looking, you know, doing work in his garage, so glad I could help him out. But either way, I got the Prime Weld 285 set up, and I got some scrap here, and I'm building a cart for it. I got casters from something else. It's gonna pretty much all be built out of scrap, and I'm gonna do it so that my plasma cutter can sit on the bottom, and then the welder will sit on top, and then the gas bottle will sit off the back, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna make this thing so that I can actually, I want to make it so that I can put my plasma on the bottom, welder on top, everything on one, roll around, still be able to pull it off if I need to, if I gotta get up in the back of a truck, whatever, run extension cord up there. But yeah, so I decided to just make one. I looked, there are some decent deals on, you know, whatever, pre-made ones, but I don't think the dimensions were quite right for most of them. So I got the scrap sitting here, so I might as well just make it. So that's my project that I'm working on right now. I guess we'll see if I put it off too long. I should have had this done before the other welder was gone, but it kicked me in the buttocks to slam some wire in there and get it set up so I can at least weld with it. Been looking at a lot, you know, there was a lack of snow. We just got like 6 inches of snow, so with the lack of snow that there was, you know, I was going and looking at work and whatever, and we did get a couple of projects out of that, so we do have work on the books for this coming year already. We haven't even started advertising yet. We usually start, you know, late February, so we'll see, start advertising. Hopefully the snow melts away so that the ground's clear again. But yeah, we're just fooling with this. So later in the day, and this is what I came up with for a welding cart. It was all freehand, you know, measure it a couple times and tack it together, and then, you know, hopefully it's square enough. It turned out pretty square for doing it that way. Not super heavy duty or anything. I mean, it's not like there ain't a whole like lot of weight here, but you know, we got 1 by or 1.5 by steel tube, square stock or whatever, for the front, so that holds the majority of the weight. And then I added some thinner angle iron in the back there, kind of, you know, at an angle just to sure it up in the back a little bit. I'll have to figure something out to keep the tank in place. I think I'll probably end up getting like a chain or something, put some little hooks on it, something like that, or cut a slot so that you just hook it in there and then it's, you know, on. But otherwise, I think it turned out pretty good. I got, you know, I put it so that there's enough room for me to put my plasma on the bottom and be able to have everything on one cart and move it around. I do have to cut, so I made these tubes longer, as you can see, and I'm gonna have to cut the one that's on the opposite side of the machine because the way that I made the base plate, so there isn't a lot of movement back and forth, and that other tube blocks the door that opens up. So I'm gonna end up cutting that off like right at what the base plate is, like the top base plate, so that I can open the door. I only really need one grab handle, I figure, so that's how I'm gonna go about doing that. Maybe I'll add the grab handle back on, just move it forward. We'll see. Then I ended up just welding my casters on because they were, you know, just old casters from something else. So that turned out good, and yeah, it's, you know, not super pretty, but it'll do the job. And I used the new welder to build the whole thing, so that went good. I just slapped some 0.35 or 0.9 welding wire in there, which is thinner than what I would normally run. In my ESOB, I normally ran a 0.45, but I gave that roll away with the welder, and now this is what I have for now. I'm gonna order some 33-pound spools because this machine, they don't want you to use more than a 33-pound spool, so that's what I'll start ordering from now on. I'll probably get a 33-pound 0.35 and a 33 0.45. I do have the consumables already. I'm not worried about that. I did also order today more 60 amp tips for my plasma cutter because last time they only had 40 amps. So I got a bunch of plasma cutter consumables, and I also ordered the spool gun, the heavy duty spool gun that Prime Weld makes. So that'll be for welding aluminum, and I think that'll be nice, you know, just doing some light aluminum fab. I don't get too heavy into that so far, but you know, if you got battery boxes on trucks or running boards, whatever, they get beat up on dump trucks and whatever else. Tailgates on dump trucks. I don't have an aluminum box, but a good friend of ours that we dig out of his pit and stuff, he does have a tailgate on his truck that's aluminum, and that needs some repair. So I figured, hey, I got it, I can help him out, I can finish some projects that I got, and everybody can be happy. So I figured that would be a nice addition to this, and I'm impressed by the machine so far. You know, obviously this isn't very heavy for welding compared to what we normally do, but I did keep my Airco Dipcore 300, so, you know, if nothing else, that thing will weld whatever the heck you need. It's a pretty heavy duty welder, but I think that this one will do good once I, you know, play with it more. It's got a different style setting on it, so I'll have to look into that more as far as like the amperage and stuff. It goes off of wire speed and volts, so that'll be something to learn. But yeah, otherwise it's coming along, it's looking good. I'm glad that I got out here and actually did something today. You know, you go out and do something, it'll make you feel good about life, right? So that's definitely a struggle some days, but especially during the winter, seasonal stuff, you know, whatever. But nope, it's looking good. And yeah, I'm glad I got out here and did a little bit. I'm out in the shop, put the welding cart together here. So got some little things to do with that. And then we got this machine here, as you know, I'm fixing it for a local farmer. And with that, so I had to pull this cover off the engine and to get to the flex plate. He brought me a new flex plate so I can swap that out at any point here. We're still waiting for word on the pump, whether or not they're going to be able to rebuild it, if he's going to have to get it a reman, whatever. But there's a bolt broken off in here, and what I did, put a nut on it and then welded it, and then it came right out. So just getting this prepped to go back, and once I get the flywheel swapped out, I can put this cover back on. And then just kind of getting some little stuff out of the way here for when the pump actually gets rebuilt and I get it back, so we can put this thing back together for that farmer. Added some more stuff, kind of finishing the welding card out. I'm gonna spin this bad boy around, show you kind of what I did, what I added, yada yada. Here it is. You might have seen before, but there was a rod. It came up as far as that one over there. But I cut it off because the door access, I welded that right in the way of the door access because I wasn't thinking. But so I cut that off. Now the door opens, all that good stuff. I moved it back here, and I put a couple pieces of angle iron, 2 pieces, one there, and then I can wrap my ground around the bottom one first, wrap the whip around the top one, that's put away. The cart rolls around nice. I did the same thing over here, ground on the bottom, and then the torch on top. And as you can also see, we now have our plasma cutter and our new welder all on one cart. So this is what I wanted to have. This is part of the reason why I upgraded welders. I was really impressed by that plasma cutter, and the price is right on this $285. You know, technically it's a, you know, bigger welder, heavier welder than what I had. I guess I didn't really look too far into the, you know, all the cycles, whatever. But I think that this is perfect. Everybody, like, reviews are all good on it. I've heard of a lot of commercial shops starting to buy these and run them, like welding shops and stuff, fabrication shops. So I think it'll be great for us. So far, I'm super impressed with it. If I do have to weld extra heavy, I do have that Airco Dipcore 300 right there, so I can weld heavy no matter what. We're good. I got a heavier stick welder over there from the farm days, you know what I'm saying? And then for mobile, I do have an engine-driven miller that I'll throw in the back of my truck, whatever, if I have to go do some welding, or else I'll put it on the front of the trailer, like if I'm hauling the skid too. But either way, cart turned out good for what it is. It's completely made out of just scrap stuff that I had laying around. It's not pretty, but you know, a lot of stuff that we got going on here ain't pretty, right? So Alexis is out here just living the dream. He's gonna be a super trucker, I can tell. Just out here making all the guys look bad. Guys, I ain't got bibs on right now. The sun's out. I'll position myself here. In fact, I'm not wearing pants at all. I got boxers on, but no pants. I came outside quick here just to show you my marketplace find. So I drove 2 hours one way for these bad boys here. And this is the second time that I've bought tag axles. I don't remember if we did any video on it last time, but I was going to upfit the the dump truck, right, with tag axles. So found some other ones, and these are kind of a rare deal here. They probably quit making them mid-2000s or something. Can still get parts for them, but these take like a 8 by 6.5 bolt pattern rim, which is the same as what's on our trailer here. And I got 2 of them, and we got a pretty good deal on them. You know, they weren't shot or anything. That's not why they came out of the truck. We actually bought them from a guy that buys parts out a lot of trucks, scrap stuff, all that good stuff. They also do truck upfitting. Real cool dude. The place was full of stuff. Reminds me of where my dad lived back in the day. Family farm, all that good stuff. But so we got 2, and I want to put one on the truck, but it's just kind of, whatever. So that's kind of what I would like to get done before we're in full swing of the season, is get one of these put on the truck. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. Whichever one's in better shape, obviously, but so I want to put one of these under the truck. I think with doing that, with putting one of these under our current configuration without swapping the hydraulics, the box, all that good stuff, I'm thinking I can haul about 14 ton rather than the 12 ton that we can currently haul. And you're probably thinking, depending on where you're from, you can only haul 12 ton on your truck. Yep, well, Minnesota's pretty cool like that, so they got goofy laws compared to, you can go over to Wisconsin right across the river here because we're right on the border, and you can haul, I've seen tandems hauling what my triaxle used to haul in Minnesota and Wisconsin on a tandem. So 15, 16 ton, if not more than that. I don't know what their weight laws are, but either way. So this is what we ended up with, and they're silent drives. I'd say that they're early to mid 2000s. And apparently Minnesota at some point did a buyback program where you cut a running, driving truck up. This was probably recently. That's pre-emissions because, they want to push the emissions so hard. So they did a buyback, and if you cut the truck apart and drill a hole through the engine block, they'll pay you. I don't know if it was actually worth what the truck was worth. Hopefully it was. But, these guys, that's pretty much what they do anyway, so what's it matter? And we ended up with these bad boys right here, and that's cool. I'm happy with it. We are looking at some other options. I found another truck. It's already a quad. 2003 Kentworth. I'd say it's a T800. And it has a C12 cat with a Allison automatic. It's got the pull plate on the back for the tag trailer. All that good stuff. Box is in a little bit of tough shape, but they pretty much all are. But I got quotes to upfit our truck with a new box, new tag axles, and it would be it'd be like $10,000 more to upfit our current truck in that way than to just go and buy another truck. So I think we're kind of at the point where we're looking at, either we throw some money into the current truck, obviously, or we find something that's more geared towards what we're trying to do, or, that's going to make life easier, which, honestly, I think the 14 ton in our current box on our truck is going to really be pushing it, and it might be spilling out. So, well, with rock it won't, with sand it will, because if we haul 13 ton of sand on that truck in Wisconsin, it's spilling out almost. It's pretty close. So I'd have to build the sides up. Sorry. I'd have to probably build the sides up, or at the very least put the boards on. But either way, I mean, even at 14 ton, it's better than nothing. And no matter what, the truck should probably get a tag axle underneath it. If nothing else, to just be more, if we decide to sell it down the road, somebody's going to want a tag axle underneath that truck as a tri-axle rather than a tandem. I almost guarantee it. It's not very, well, it might be, you know, that it's going to be a guy, if we were to sell, it's going to be a guy that's going to buy it like me, who's looking for an automatic set up to pull a trailer, whatever, because that's what the truck is set up exactly how we'd want it if it was a tri or a quad. So either way, so I got these, figured I'd talk about them a little bit. We'll see if I actually get around to putting them on, because that's the problem. I had the ones before, and gosh darn, we just didn't get them put on, and the money sounded better than having them sit around. So either way, there they are. That was went and got them on Sunday, and that will be potentially a project that you'll see going on. All right, so got the truck running. It sat here with the key on accessory for 2 days, so the batteries were dead because I'm a silly guy. But got some good news. So I replaced that there guy with the blue stuff on it, the ABS module on the trailer, and I just spun the tires, because in order to engage the module, tires got to spin at least 15 miles an hour. So I unlocked the brakes, spun the tires, and it works. So I fixed the ABS issue, and that's great because we can finally DOT the trailer, hopefully. Might be some other little stuff to do, but either way, good feeling. Got that done. And what happened was I bought a cheap one off of Amazon, and that one wouldn't even cycle. So we sent that one back, and then we got this unit here off of eBay. This was, somebody bought it. They bought the wrong one for their trailer. Lucky for us, they bought the wrong one, because we got it for like half the price of a new one. So paid like $5 something for it, and they're like $1,000 to $1,200 depending on where you go to get one. And the people that had this trailer before put the incorrect module in this, and it had a 4-place module. This is a 2-place module from the factory. So I put that in. They said they could never get the ABS stuff to work correctly, so they never bothered DOTing it. And we're finally going to be able to DOT this and use it, and not, it's always been registered, insurance on it, all that good stuff, but the DOT thing was a pain in the booty. So we now for sure can DOT this. It's got good tires. The brakes they're getting to where they probably need to be replaced, but they still have pad on them. And yeah, it's definitely a good feeling. And it's upside down. Hopefully this is the last time it's got to be upside down for a long time. Most of like the normal maintenance stuff, taking the wheels off, whatever, can be done with the trailer upright. I'm too big to fit underneath here. I doubt that anybody else does. They probably have like jacks or something that they, like jack stands that they put these on to work under them, because you'd have to be about 6 inches thick to fit underneath this thing. But either way, I'm feeling good about it. I'm sure Alexis will be happy. And this is this is going to be a good step in the right direction. This is something that's kind of held us back as far as working further away potentially. I mean, we're still working quite a ways away, but this is just a good step. Hammer's helping. So yeah, now I can unhook it, flip it over, and on to the next project. All right, so I'm standing here with our 279 right there, and we're actually trading this machine in. It's a little over a year old, and the warranty comes up in the fall, but they had some year-end deals. We were able to get a holdover $289, supposedly, and I'll just say that, for $10,000 off. And we also are getting a 7-year full warranty on that new machine, because with this one, we didn't really realize, figured I could purchase, extend full warranty when we ran out, but you can't do that. So, that's a boo-boo, like whether it be between us or the dealer. And we didn't know that. You had to purchase that. In order to get an extended full warranty, you had to do it within a year, and nothing was really ever said about that, and I guess we didn't ask. So, I called after the year, of course, and I was told the bad news. So either way, this thing doesn't have barely any hours on it. It's got like 300 and 350, 360, something like that. And we're trading it in on a new 289 because it was a leftover machine. They're phasing that out to go to the 265. And, I'm kind of bummed out. The resale on this was not anywhere near what I thought it was going to be. But, the used market's definitely taken a hit. We had quite a bit of equity in this, buying it right off the bat. But unfortunately, even with that, we haven't owned it long enough, I guess, to, have it be worth, we're not getting our money back out of it, essentially. We got a little bit, but nowhere near what I thought it would be. And I'm not saying nothing bad about the dealer, whatever. It's just bad luck, tough luck, as some might say. But I'll still deal with Cat because they're still good to deal with. And we got this new one set up right to where we're going to have 7 years of warranty, 5-year loan, whatever. But we'll have 2 years of warranty past the loan. So, and that's full warranty, that's pretty much everything. Whereas even if I did extend this warranty at this point, I could only get a powertrain, which would pretty much only cover the motor and then, drive motors and stuff. So, and that was, I think, $6,000, whatever. So I didn't really see it as being worth it. And we got a pretty good deal on a new, the next size up, because they're phasing them out. I thought about getting a 265, but the deal was, we're saving $10,000 with and having a full warranty and everything on this 289. So I think, a brand new machine, next size up from this, I think I can deal with that over a 265. And I figure that way, if they do end up having some problems with the next gen skid series, hopefully that gets ironed out by the time that I'm looking at a new one. But either way, it's in good shape. And we didn't, the trade-in was not anywhere near what I thought it would be. But, the used market, they're starting to get a lot of used stuff on the lots because they're catching up with the inventory on the new stuff. So, I can understand it. It still hurts at the end of the day. I told our salesman that he hurt my feelings pretty bad, but it is what it is. Now, this is the second time that we've traded a machine in. First, we traded our New Holland 327 in on this 279 Cat. And I will say that the 327 stout machine, it always impressed me. It was just, rough ride, not really a creature comfort machine. Whereas Caterpillar, even with this, the D3 series, not even the new series, it's pretty much a Cadillac of machinery, as far as skids go. I know some guys like Deere and all that, but no, that ain't where it at. That ain't where it at. Not for me, at least. No, I don't like John Deere anyways. I'm a Alice Chalmers guy, if you ever see my tattoos. But so, see, I got a couple buckets. I got both the buckets from when we traded in, because the trade-in on a bucket, they don't want to tell you exactly what it is, but it's like $500, at least at the dealership that I go to. And, that's all fine and dandy. It's got its place. But $500 for a name brand bucket, I'm not going to pick up another bucket for $500. And at least that's kind of what I figure the trade-in is. I won't say for sure, but that's what I'm going to say. It's like $500 for a bucket. And, 84 inch from my 327, and then this 80 inch from my 279. And I don't see, you might as well just have the buckets laying around at that point. It's nice to have extra buckets. Sometimes if I'm doing a job, I will take a bucket full of material, like if I just need a little bit. And then I will, I won't overfill the bucket, but then I'll cock the bucket, I'll put it on blocks, and I will strap it down onto the trailer deck so that I can bring material with me, on top of, so I'll have a bucket of material with the machine also on the trailer, in the regular bucket with. So I've just found that's kind of handy if you just need a bucket of material to straighten something out, rather than bringing the dump truck for a bucket load. But, so either way, I like to keep my buckets. I don't trade them in. And, I don't know what a new bucket is, but I can't imagine if you go to Caterpillar, it's less than $1,500 for one of these buckets. And I think it's more like $2,000. Granted, it's used, but at the same time, both of those buckets, they only have, I bet you, 300 hours on each bucket. The cutting edges aren't barely worn in on them. So I just figure might as well keep them. They're nice to have around. And I'm thinking I might throw teeth onto one, just for like if you get into some clay and stuff, it's nice to have teeth. So I like to keep them around. I'm just not into giving stuff away, I guess. But either way, there's a place for it, right? I've never seen a used, but I guess I haven't looked at their used buckets to see like their skid buckets, but I don't think that you ever see any skid buckets used there. Maybe some excavator buckets, but I don't think I've seen used buckets, skid buckets. So they probably just recycle them on other stuff that doesn't necessarily have a bucket come in, like what mine's gonna have. No bucket on that bad boy. It's cold here. It's chilly. We're gonna get snow this weekend, possibly. Hopefully not. I hope it all just melts right away. But I've been going to some classes. Over the winter, I did septic installer class. I re-upped my Haswapper. I did my refresher for that. And then I also went to, this week I'm taking playground inspection. We'll see how that goes. I'm not completely sold on it. I'm not sure that this is a niche that we're going to get into or not, but we'll see. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging about. We're in limbo here. It's, it's early in the season for us in Minnesota. But road restrictions in our area actually just came off. So we could be out working, but now it just kind of get cold and gross. And I think I got some stuff around the house I want to do, with putting the take axle in the dump truck. So I'm hoping to take like a full week off and just focus on the truck and getting that, done, so that we're not, so that we can haul some more material, in one trip and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with that. All right. So I was talking about trading the 279 in. Well, here's our brand new 289. Got it delivered out to a job site over here. And guess what? Now it's going to snow. So they delivered it here. So I had class today. So now I'm here after class. And I'm going to pick this bad boy up. 289. She's a high flow, 2-speed, all that good stuff. And this is, so she's brand new. Don't know how many hours are on it. I haven't been in it yet. But I'm going to load this bad boy up, and then hopefully it doesn't snow. But if it does, I'll be ready. It's all shiny. Yep. Looking good. She's looking good, guys. Bucket. Take a little look-see at her. Yep, those are the boot marks of a delivery guy. I haven't even stepped in the bucket yet. But here it is, you know, a little bit bigger machine, higher lift capacity, you know, same body size, but, you know, it's got that a little bit different style arms on it with that bar across the back. So this one has vertical lift. The 279 had radial lift. So this one will actually lift straight up and down rather than coming back towards the cab when it's lifting. So that's cool. And, you know, we saved money on this one, so good to go. And it's looking good, looking good. I'll check her out when I get inside. And I'm going to get it loaded up so I can get home. I have testing tomorrow. It's supposed to snow tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I might have to go plow tonight, but it's looking good. Looks like a machine, you know, like it should. So it's pretty. But I'm a chooch on out of here. Well, she's got that new cat smell. Smells brand new. Don't mind my thin spot there. They're still here there, you just can't tell. But let's see. We're gonna start it. Oh yeah, starts right up. Like that. 3.5 hours on this bad boy. So, you know, she's been moved a little bit. Maybe test it out. But she is essentially brand new. Got your radio back there, Bluetooth, all that good stuff. She's looking good. Take that off. I don't run the bucket leveler, the auto level. I do it by hand. But she's looking oh, sorry. I almost said a naughty word. She's looking mint. She's looking real mint.